What if I told you that not everyone who smiles at you wants to see you succeed? Some people will clap for your progress while secretly hoping you fail. The shocking part is that many of them don't even realize they're doing it. Why does your success make certain people uncomfortable? What hidden psychological triggers turn support into silent resentment? In this video, we're uncovering the powerful psychology behind why some people secretly want you to fail, how to recognize the warning signs, and most importantly, how to protect your confidence and keep winning without letting anyone steal your momentum. Stay until the end. You'll never see people the same way again. Main point 1. Your success changes the story. They tell themselves every person has a story about who they are. I'm smarter. I'm more successful. I'm the responsible one. I'm the talented one. These stories become part of their identity. Then one day, you start growing, maybe faster than they expected. Suddenly, their story no longer feels true. Instead of asking themselves how they can improve, some people try to protect their identity by hoping your progress slows down. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your success forces them to question themselves. Psychologists call this social comparison. Human beings naturally compare themselves with others. When someone close succeeds, that comparison becomes impossible to ignore. Your improvement becomes a mirror, and mirrors don't lie. They reveal what's missing. That's uncomfortable. So instead of changing themselves, some people wish the mirror would disappear, which, in their minds, means hoping you stop growing. That's why personal growth often changes relationships. Not because success changes you, but because it changes how others see themselves. Main point 2. Comfort loves company. Here's something most people never think about. Many friendships are built on comfort, not growth. As long as both people stay in the same place, everything feels balanced. But the moment one person begins improving, the balance disappears. Imagine two people standing on the same step of a staircase. Now imagine one starts climbing. The distance grows. The person who stayed behind now has two choices: climb too, or hope the other person comes back down. Sadly, many choose the second option, not because they're evil, because change requires effort, and effort is uncomfortable. Your discipline reminds them of their excuses. Your consistency highlights their procrastination. Your confidence exposes their self-doubt. Without saying a word, you challenge their comfort zone. That's why some people suddenly tell you things like, "You've changed. Don't take life so seriously. You think you're better than everyone now." Sometimes these aren't observations. They're invitations to return to the version of yourself that made them feel comfortable. But growth requires leaving comfort behind, even if others don't come with you. Main point 3. Envy doesn't always look like envy. Most people imagine jealousy as obvious: angry faces, open criticism, visible resentment. Reality is much quieter. Envy often hides behind fake concern. "I just don't want you to get disappointed." "Are you sure this is a good idea?" "I think you're aiming too high." Sometimes the words sound caring, but underneath, there's doubt. Not because your dream is impossible, because your success would make them uncomfortable. This doesn't mean everyone giving advice is jealous. Some people genuinely care. The difference is simple. Supportive people help you prepare. Secretly envious people encourage you to quit. Support says, "Work harder." Envy says, "Lower your expectations." Pay attention to how people react when good things happen to you. That reaction often reveals more than anything they say. Main point 4. Familiar people expect familiar behavior. People get used to a certain version of you. The quiet one, the shy one, the people pleaser, the one who always says yes. Then one day, you begin setting boundaries. You become more confident. You stop chasing approval. Suddenly people say, "You're acting different." They're right. You are. Growth always looks strange to people who benefited from your old habits. Not everyone misses the old you because they loved you. Some miss the version of you they could control. Remember that. The moment you stop accepting disrespect, people who depended on that access often become uncomfortable. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is becoming the healthiest version of yourself. Main point 5. Fear of being left behind. Humans fear losing connection. Sometimes when people see you succeeding, they worry you'll outgrow them. Instead of admitting that fear, they unconsciously sabotage your progress. They discourage your goals. They distract you. They invite you into habits that keep you from moving forward. It's not always intentional. Sometimes they're simply trying to preserve the relationship they already know. But relationships don't survive by holding each other back. Healthy relationships grow together. Unhealthy ones resist change. Ask yourself this: do the people around you celebrate your future or constantly pull you towards your past? That answer tells you everything. Main point 6. Success exposes. Hidden insecurities. Confidence is contagious, but insecurity is too. When someone has unresolved doubts about themselves, your achievements become painful reminders of what they haven't done. Instead of asking, "What can I learn?" they ask, "Why them?" That's a dangerous mindset, because once life becomes a competition, someone else's victory feels like your defeat. But life isn't limited. Someone else's success doesn't reduce yours. There isn't one seat at the table. There isn't one opportunity. There isn't one dream available. Abundance thinking celebrates others. Scarcity thinking fears them. People trapped in scarcity often secretly hope successful people stumble, not because failure helps them, but because it temporarily eases their insecurity. Unfortunately, that relief never lasts. Main point 7. Your success breaks their expectations. People often place invisible limits on others, especially those they've known for years. If they met you when you lacked confidence, they expect you to stay that way. If they knew you when you struggled financially, they unconsciously picture you there forever. When you exceed those expectations, their brain experiences conflict. Instead of updating their opinion, some reject your new reality. That's why success sometimes shocks people who knew your past. Not because you're incapable, because they've spent years believing you wouldn't change. Never allow someone else's outdated opinion to become your future. You are not obligated to stay small just to match someone else's expectations. Main point 8. Silent competition damages relationships. Here's a hidden truth. Sometimes you're competing without even knowing there's a competition. The other person keeps score. Who earns more? Who gets more attention? Who has the better relationship? Who looks happier? Who seems more respected? Meanwhile, you're simply trying to improve your own life. This invisible competition creates resentment, because every time you win, they feel like they're losing. But life was never supposed to be a scoreboard. Healthy people compete with yesterday's version of themselves. Unhealthy people compete with everyone around them. Choose carefully who you allow into your inner circle. Because energy spreads. Spend enough time around negative people, and you'll begin questioning yourself too. Main point 9. The strongest response is quiet progress. Once you recognize these patterns, you might feel tempted to argue, to prove yourself, to expose people. Don't. Your greatest response is consistency. Keep learning, keep improving, keep building, keep showing up. Eventually, results become louder than explanations. Remember, you don't need everyone to believe in you. You only need enough belief to keep taking the next step. The people who secretly wanted you to fail eventually lose interest, not because they changed, because your success became impossible to deny. Stay focused, protect your peace, and never waste energy convincing people who already decided not to understand you. As you move forward, remember this: your success will always reveal who truly supports you and who only liked the version of you that never challenged them. Don't let silent jealousy, hidden criticism, or other people's insecurities convince you to play small. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep believing in your purpose. The right people will celebrate your victories, not compete with them. Your greatest revenge isn't proving anyone wrong. It's building a life so meaningful that negativity no longer has power over you. Stay focused, protect your peace, and never apologize for becoming the person you were meant to be.